So we do have a special guest tonight. He is backstage right now. He is listening, but this is the Reptile Love Show, where we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, what's going on in the reptile community. I'm Ball Python Love. This is Derek's Reptiles. And Derek, I'm going to let you introduce our guest.
Man, an amazing guest today. Like I said, like BPL said, man, on this show, it's just a fun show where we come and we talk about stuff that's going on in the reptile hobby, whether it's good, whether it's bad or ugly. We talk about it, give our opinions on it. But our guest, man, is a super dope guy. He's a podcast host. And I was scrolling, looking for stories for our episode last week, and I seen his face, and I'm like, I know Colin. And I read the story, and I thought it was funny, so I hit him up about coming on, and we're going to talk about that later in the show. But this is none other than Big Colin Shoemark, man.
Yeah, so here he is. Let's introduce him.
G'day.
What is going on, bro?
Just another day in Australia.
So if you can, though, please, for everyone watching in the chat right now, still coming in as well, if you could, let them know who you are, just the basics.
My name's Colin. I'm a reptile snake catcher breeder from Australia. That's pretty much all about me. I've done YouTube in various aspects since 2012, I was going to say. Traveled the world for reptiles, filming in South Africa, America, all over the place.
Right.
That's fucking kick ass.
But yeah. See, interrupt BPL, but see, you're being modest because that Instagram got almost 20K, man.
Yeah. It's funny with Instagram because I've been on Instagram since it started, and I had so many more followers. I think I had about 30,000 followers, but then when it changed from a photo sharing app to video, I just lost so many followers, But started to post every day, be consistent, which you have to be with social media, and started to build it back up again. So.
Right. I agree. A lot of these social media websites, they change in their algorithm. I'm gonna say TikTok got everybody scared that fast media is the new wave.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Long form content is not winning. If you're not making quick, fast content, you're not gonna grow.
You can get the most talented, knowledgeable reptile person or animal person to tell you about an animal and how good it is, but if a kid uploads a video of a bearded dragon with a hat on with some sort of song and it goes viral, do you know what I mean? Like, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
They just want. And I've been speaking to local snake catchers here. One of the fellas had a TV show, and he said, even if the video's shit, as long as the audio is good, when you're catching the snake, people will watch it, and then you put subtitles and make it really short. Perfect. So,
Colin, I call it fast food media. People want to drop it, get it, and go.
That's it. I think I watched the thing today. It's 8 seconds. If you don't get someone's attention by 8 seconds, it's over.
Right. I agree. Well, BPL, man, this is the show, man. I'm excited, man. We got a dope host. BPL's hosting. I'm hosting. An amazing guest. So let's go ahead and jump into the show, man. All of us, we believe in something. We believe in a higher power. When you die, you're going somewhere. So let's talk about church. I want to get you guys' opinion on this, and I'm going to read this article. Let's pop it up.
Right.
So we're reptile keepers. History: the last snake handling church in West Virginia, hidden in the Appalachian Mountains in the house of the Lord of Jesus. Serpents and their venom are a part of the service. Oh, I can barely read that.
I was actually this sort of stuff here. I was talking to my wife about it not that long ago. She didn't believe me. I said there are places in America that use serpents like rattlesnakes to do their services, and she's like, "No way." And I'm saying, "I'd Google it," and she Googled it, and that sort of stuff come up. So
now this is for both of you, BPL and Colin. A church that uses venomous snakes for worship. Would you guys ever attend it? And is this
where do I sign up?
I would go to see I would go to see like a layman handling a venomous snake and how they would go about it. and then just have a chat to them like, what if you get bitten by this thing? What are you going to do? And if they do the whole like, going to pray to God, okay, I'm going to watch and have a bit of a giggle, you know. When you're the size of a beach ball, we'll have a chat then, you know. So.
Yeah, you go. Is this good for the hobby? And are you going to see it firsthand? Yes or no?
I don't. So there was a thing. So when I was traveling to America a fair bit, like 10 or like let's say 8 years ago, there's a fellow called Danny Mendez, and he showed me this thing called the rattlesnake roundup in Texas, which it probably still happens today,
right?
Where they round up all rattlesnakes and then they just beat them to death, you know. So it's along the similar sort of thing to that, because you don't know how those animals are kept, you know, the conditions, all that sort of shit, like the husbandry around it. So it's what it does is get people to look at animals like reptiles, like normal people go, fuck, that's crazy. Like, what's wrong with these people? And then if you have a snake, you're like those people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like a period there where in Australia, if you had reptiles, you had tattoos, and you're actually a crazy person, and you wore leather jackets, long hair, the whole lot, you know?
Love it. I love it. Shout out to Danny Mendez. I want to say he's the host of Urban Radio, right? Urban Jungle Radio.
Yeah, he was back in the day. I don't know. I don't know what he does now.
Yeah, he's a big dude. I know exactly who he is. Anyway, BPL, man, give me your take on it. Good for the hobby, bad for the hobby, and are you going to see rattlesnakes used in worship?
I need to make this very clear for everyone listening right now. And we're going to say hi to everyone. I know we haven't forgot everybody. We'll get to everybody saying what's up. But for me personally, I must sign up for something like this. I must go to something where they work. Like, okay, so there's a place in South Africa in the Ball Python movie where they worship the ball pythons. Why can't I worship a fucking rattlesnake here in America? Why can't I hold that? You're like, no permits. I mean, once again, though, I'm with Colin on this one. I mean, are you just praying if you get bit, like, and then it's all over, or like, do you actually have some anti-venom on the side over there? Like, what's going on?
Go to this
BPL
service.
BPL and Colin, I'm gonna tell you, I watched a documentary on this the other day, and one of the pastors got bit, and they don't believe in anti-venom. He just died. He just was like, he said, if God wants me to go, it's my turn. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Okay.
Equal Line just said it's so dumb. See, I think it's a good thing, and here's why. So it's funny. I'm going to bring this up because we're talking a little bit backstage, but Colin I got to bring this up. But you got a call last night, you said, for a gecko. Yeah,
dude. So I got a call last night at 12:30. So I had to drive 30 minutes. So I got there around 1:00 in the morning for a fucking gecko. And the lady was like, if you don't come tonight, I'm going to burn my house down. It was a gecko, like a velvet gecko.
Oh, okay. So now let's change it up. Instead of rattlesnakes or snakes in general, what if it was geckos? Would you still like knock it? Because, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just read your comment in the chat. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, I'm on that other side. Like, I think it's good for the hobby. I think these people, I mean, you don't know if they've been working with snakes and they just don't do like social media shit. Yeah. Like, we talk about breeders breeding ball pythons where they have morphs that aren't even out yet, you know, and they're just doing it just for themselves.
Yeah,
so,
Like,
so I'm gonna give you my opinion on it. I'm nuts. I'm willing to watch something. I'm willing to try anything once or watch something once, but I don't know if I would constantly go to that church because I would be scared of loose snakes in a church, for one. And secondly, I don't want to see anybody get bit. I think that is interesting because, like I said, you know, that those pastors have big balls, like to reach into a tank and just barehandedly pick up a rattlesnake and start praising the Lord. Like, you got big balls, brother.
So
like,
doesn't in America, like in your health system too, like if we get bitten by a venomous snake, it's 1 vial of antivenin and we're on our way, or 2. And it's free, right? But with a rattlesnake bite, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you can take up to 20 vials, and it's not free, and it can cost you about $5,000 a vial.
Yeah, no, it's different here. It's fucked up. I hate it.
I couldn't imagine it, man. It'd be crazy. Like I said, everybody is entitled to their opinion. I think that it'd be interesting to see one time, but after that, I'd never go back.
Yeah.
But anyways, while we're here, man, just Colin, we appreciate you being here. BPL, thank you for being here. Let's shout out everybody in the chat, man.
I mean, I kind of got to be here. I am the co-host.
Right. Shout out to Eveline, Lizard Morris in the chat. We see you. What's up, Lizard Morris?
Hell yeah, what's up, Lizard?
What's that fucking guy want?
What's up,
Australia's
buddy?
#2, by the way.
Benjamin from New Zealand. Welcome, Benjamin.
Hey, shout out my Animal House, Live Feed, ASMR. Everybody in the chat, like and share this out, man. It's going to be a fun show. We're just talking about random stuff in the hobby and giving our opinions on it. Now,
the iceberg has just tipped. I just want to let everyone know because the last story is where it's going to get crazy. So just be prepared.
Now, let's talk about the story number 2, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this. And you're a snake catcher, Colin, so let's read this and talk about it. And I'm going to let you talk about it too, BPL. Let's go ahead and bring the second story up. Police seek owner of possibly escaped snake, not native to New Hampshire.
Okay.
That's written. Police in New Hampshire are trying to figure out who owns the recently discovered snake because it doesn't come from the Granite State. What appears to be a gopher snake, not native in New Hampshire, was discovered loose in a bathroom in a Meadow Street business in Littleton, police said Wednesday. We believe this may be somebody's pet, possibly one that escaped a home, Little Police posted to Facebook. New Hampshire Fish and Game personnel were on hand to examine the snake. According to the Oakland Zoo, gopher snakes are non-venomous, but often mistaken for rattlesnakes. They're typically found in the western half of the country. Anyone who is missing a snake is asked to contact the police. Now, let's talk about this. First off, Colin, you're a reptile keeper. You've lost a snake.
Yep.
And the Fish
What's up, Ed?
Wildlife Game are looking to find the owner. Do you claim that snake? Do you say no way? I don't want to fool with the police. What do you do in this situation? Give me your take on this situation.
Oh yeah, if it was my snake, I'd be like, yeah, that's my snake. But this is the thing. It happens with me all the time. Like I catch snakes that are non-native to the area. And I made the mistake early on in my career of putting the photo of that snake up. And, mate, I got fucking bombarded by people saying it's their snake and all that sort of stuff. So now what I do is I don't even tell the species. I just say I found a snake in this suburb. It's a pet snake. And then I always have to put in brackets, I know it's a pet snake because it's not from the area. Because people go, how do you know it's a pet snake? Just leave it alone, blah, blah, blah. But, so I get that a lot. And I've had that end of last year and early this year, I've had it quite a few times. So people, around this time of year just either, I don't know, just decide to let their collection go or something like that. And it's a particular suburb. And then over the next few weeks, you get call after call of, hey, I've got a snake in my house or a snake in my yard. And send me a photo and I go, oh, yeah, okay. It's another pet. So. But
Colin, and I'm gonna let you give me your opinion on it in a second, BPL. Here's the thing, though. You're the loose snake is okay, but my question, here's the thing: do you feel like going through that headache of dealing with the FWC? And this is like a 2-part question. Do you guys have like an FWC out there in Australia?
Well, yeah. So the process in New South Wales is if I catch a snake. And I can't find the owner, I have to hand it over to a rehabilitation authority, which there's one up here called Hunter Wildlife. And then Hunter Wildlife will put it into a ballot with national parks, and that goes on the website, and then people can bid on if they want to get that animal. So that's the dealing with the authorities. So if you've lost a snake, about the only person you really have to deal with is the snake catcher that finds it again. So there's no dealing with police or anything like that. So
those works off down here for us. Y'all got it kind of easy in Australia. Okay. I like that.
Yeah, but like you guys, I don't know if you got licensing systems yet, but we have licensing systems. So, and then we have cage requirements. So if you have one blue tongue and I think it's like 0.6 of a meter square, we have to have cage size, and then if you have 2, it has to go 0.8. Like there's all different requirements. So
right. Now, BPL, give me your take on this. Snake that's not native to New Hampshire lost, and the New Hampshire Florida Fish and the Fish and Wildlife Commission or the police, they looking for the owner. Do you turn yourself in and say, look, it's my snake, it got out? Keep in mind, you know the FWC.
Okay, I already know my answer. Yes, I'm calling and being like that. If that's really my snake, I'm calling and being like, that's my snake. Number 2, and here's another thing that they need to make very clear because the FWC is very fucked up. Understand this, it's a gopher snake. If it bites you, you cannot die. Go wash the fucking thing. What's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? You're going to bleed. You might get salmonella, right? You might have a small chance, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. So other than that, shut the fuck up and get your snake back. Don't be like, oh my God, it got like 5 feet and I got scared. Motherfucker. Like, this is why we got a fucking Burmese python fucking issue in Florida right now. Because people get scared when the snake grows to a certain size and it fucking strikes at them because it's hungry. And they're like, oh my God, like, or they freak out, or the snake's just a complete asshole, because I got some of those. Call. Get your snake back. Do the right thing. Don't make other snake owners look bad.
Like if it was a dog, what would you do? You just call up and get your dog back.
Right. But see, now I'm gonna give my opinion on it. I think with USARK fighting for us, I think any loose animal is bad, because it makes us look irresponsible as keepers. I would call and get it back, but it's just like I think I would. If it was my loose snake, I'd call to get it back, but it's just like you realize that the New Hampshire Fish and Wildlife game, they're gonna put you through the ringer. They're gonna probably want to do inspections.
Okay. Let's also talk about this.
Hey,
why is it even with venomous? You had the guy on your show. I can't remember who he is, but he got bit by the green mamba, and then he lost his cobra.
Fuck.
You see what I'm saying? Like, but he should have made the initiative to make authorities know, hey, a venomous snake is on the loose. A gopher snake? Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna cream me over something that can't kill you?
I think they would. A loose snake. I think they would. I think that the way.
So if my ball python got out,
I think the way the laws are, I think they would. I think that I'm not sure how the laws are in Arizona, but I know especially in Florida. In Florida, if you have a loose snake, the FWC is gonna crucify you.
Yeah, it's pretty bad down there.
Yeah, you can lose your license. You can lose everything. So it's like, yes, it's a gopher.
Read this comment. Go ahead, read it.
Whoever let that out will definitely get in trouble. Exactly. That loose snake. I'm not saying.
But what I'm saying is, it's non-venomous. Just make the call. Like, Colin made it perfect. If it was your fucking dog, you'd be like, yeah, that's my dog. If it's your snake, go get your goddamn snake. Unless you're afraid of it, and then that's how we know you're not going to call.
Yeah, call and get it back. I think you're not understanding what I'm saying. I didn't say don't call and get it back, BPO. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I said call and get it back, but I'm just saying, you still that Florida. You understand what I'm saying, Colin? That you gonna call.
That will probably you'll probably get a few questions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna put you through the ringer. You're gonna be a big.
Let them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe no. But it could be the whole like enclosure setup. Maybe when your racks are bad. Maybe you're using the tubbing system and it broke through because it was just a clip-on like little done.
When using the tub system, one snake gets out, then you got 10 snakes out.
I think I'm gonna try and keep up with this story though. I am interested to see if the owner calls and tries to get their snake back. It's out there in New Hampshire, so I'm surprised that Kevin from Nerd hasn't heard about it.
But the thing about it is, like, the people that are in these wildlife authorities aren't necessarily reptile people. So, like, even in Australia, like, the people that are doing the licensing, you could show them a water dragon and say it's something else, and they'll go, okay, that's what it is. They've got no idea. Like, they have no idea what they're looking at. So, it's difficult from their perspective, and it's difficult from your perspective because you're trying to say, well, this is this species, and they're going, oh, I don't really know. Don't really know the requirements. So
I think that you're going to get the snake back, but you're going to have a lot of headaches with it because they're going to be watching you like a hog now. Because they know, like, okay, you've lost a snake. We're about to watch you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Crazy story.
If your snake bites me, we're going to have words.
Crazy story, man. Now, I want to talk about story 3, but before we bring it up, I'm gonna let people know. I belong to a community. Yes, I do live feed. But here's the thing. I'm changing my YouTube. And I'm not knocking anybody that does live feeding, but I wanna start shooting content and making regular content videos. And I don't look down on people that live feed. You know, it's part of owning reptiles, but it can get taken to the extreme. Yeah, and that's what this story is about. I want to get you guys' take on it. Let's read this next story. And it's a crazy fucking story. Oh, excuse my language. Go to the other one with the title.
I think that's the only one, man. And then it goes there.
It's all right. It's good. It's cool. It's about a teacher that does live feedings in front of his students.
Okay.
Yes. Oh. Now let's read this. Preston, Idaho. Preston authorities have seized a snapping turtle from an Idaho junior high school science teacher who is currently under investigation for feeding a small puppy to the reptile. The Idaho Department of Agriculture requested that the Idaho Department of Fish and Game remove the turtle from Robin Crossland's possession. The Department of Agriculture sent an official request to the Idaho Department of Fish and Game asking to seize the snapping turtle under the Department of Agriculture's authority. Regional conservation educator Jennifer Jackson tells East Idaho News officials from the southeast region of the Department of Fish and Game took the turtle and gave it to the Department of Agriculture. The Department of Agriculture will determine what will happen to the turtle. Jackson did not elaborate on why Fish and Game seized the turtle. Crossland, a teacher at Preston Junior High, has not been cited or charged with any crime. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office conducted an investigation that was turned over to the Franklin County Prosecuting Attorney, Vic Pearson. Pearson said Tuesday that due to a conflict of interest, his office has enlisted the help of a 6th Judicial District prosecuting attorney. Crossland has taught science at Preston Junior High School for years. On Monday, East Idaho News reported he was being investigated after multiple sources said he fed a puppy to a snapping turtle after school in front of students. A mother of 2 of the 3 boys in the classroom when the feeding happened told the Preston Citizen that the story has been blown out of proportion. If anyone has the right to be upset, it is me, Franklin told the paper. I am not upset. I felt it was the more humane thing for Robert to do than just leave the puppy to die. The puppy was dying. She also told the newspaper that the puppy had been rejected by its mother.
Okay.
Many students, former students, parents, and community members have contacted the news saying that they support Crossland and are disappointed, even angry that the story has been in the news. A petition titled "We Support Crossland" has over 3,000 as of 9:15 Thursday, and dozens of Facebook users have posted positive messages in favor of the science teacher. There has been backlash against Crossland in Idaho and across the country. East Idaho News has received dozens of phone calls and messages from people furious about what the teacher did. There are online petitions calling for Crossland to be fired, and one has over 90,000 signatures.
I think there's one more.
The Idaho Humane Society has asked for a thorough investigation into the alleged mistreatment of the puppy, and PETA issued a statement calling on the school district to take the incident seriously. This teacher, who is allegedly known for feeding guinea pigs to reptiles during lessons, is a bully who should not be allowed near impressionable young people. PETA's Senior District of Cruelty caseworker, Stephanie Bell, said in this statement, any youngster who witnessed cruelty in a classroom is now in desperate need of lessons about having empathy for other living beings. Now, this is a crazy fucking story.
I think there's one more, dude.
The incident has resulted in threats targeting Crossland and the Preston schools. Authorities increased security Thursday after a Facebook post was created encouraging violence against Preston. School District 201, the Franklin County Sheriff, determined that the post did not pose a credible threat. According to a letter from the superintendent, officers and deputies are stationed at the school as a precaution. Crossland is a beloved teacher who brought science to life, according to a 2000 story published in the Herald Journal. Cages and aquariums line the walls. They're not just local snakes and frogs, the article says. His room is so interesting. Even former students still visit. ninth graders on Preston High School track team sometimes end their training runs at the high school. I think there's one more page and that'll be it. We had a blast in his class, Jacob Linderman told the paper at the time. We end our runs, and this is the first place we come to see all the animals. So I'm going to let our guest give his, what's your opinion on this? Like, live feeding is so controversial, but this is the teacher that's fed a puppy to a snapping turtle in front of kids. Give me your
Well, that's the thing. Like, so you'd have again, like they're saying, it's been blown out of the water. Like, was the puppy actually alive? Was it on its? Like, it sounded like it's on its way out. So, it's not great to in front of. You know, I'm all for live feeding because you have to with certain animals. You just have to. But in front of the public, it'd be like if you went to Australia Zoo and that chicken they fed was alive. You know what I mean? So they feed a chicken to a crocodile every time you go there. If that chicken was clucking and all that sort of stuff and performing, people would be like, oh, that's a bit, I don't know if that's okay. But it's dead. You know what I mean? Like, if the puppy was already on the way out, and the worst thing is the media gets hold of, it's a puppy, you know? If that was changed out to a frozen rat or something like that, wouldn't be a story.
Right.
Or even if the rat was alive, wouldn't be a story. But because it's a puppy, even though it's been rejected by the mother, which they don't really go into detail, they make a big deal out of it. So
what do you think about it, BPO? What should happen to this guy? Are you for it?
Before I answer, though, I got to ask Colin. So, do you think it's okay that he fed the puppy?
It's not something I would do in a classroom of kids, you know? If I had, well, it's like Barchek does now. He feeds pigs to his big snakes. You know what I mean? It's frozen. It's dead. It's not alive. It's not running around. It's not squealing.
But I'm asking a live puppy that's been rejected by its mother. Do you think that's okay?
I wouldn't do it myself, no.
Okay, so this is going to come out so fucked up and people are probably going to hate me. No, I don't feel bad for the puppy. I was in a 5th grade class in elementary where my teacher, if you got 100% on every Friday's score on your test, he had a corn snake and he fed live. So sadly, yes, it was a puppy. But at the same fucking time, and let's just say this, if nature took its course and that puppy went by that snapping turtle in the water, what would have happened? It would have died that way either way, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but at the same time, no, it's not. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Should anything happen to the dude? No, because I agree. If it was a rat, if it was any other thing, no one would have made a story of it. I agree with Colin.
Do you think he got involved because it was a puppy?
Yeah, the puppy would. Yeah, for sure. Like my story, the media got involved because they said I threw the snake in the house. It didn't fucking happen. Didn't say that to anyone, but they put that word, and everyone.
Well, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
No, that's what happens with media. You know, like snake, like in Australia. Okay, there's another one. Snake tries to eat small child. The snake wasn't trying to eat the small child. They probably come over, bit him on the leg. It was on TV a couple of months ago. So it come over, bit him on the leg, and then let go. And then they've made a big thing like it was trying to eat him. It can't fucking eat him. It's not going to try. You know what I mean? Like it's not possible. It's just a defensive move by the snake, and the kid got tagged. But the family made out that this kid was going to get eaten and pulled back into the bush by the snake. It wasn't going to happen. It was a coastal carpet python. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, we talked about that. And, I mean, honestly, if you look at the width of the snake and everything to the child, it'd be a hard time putting it down anyway, even if it tried.
Yeah.
I want to give my take on this because, like I said, live feeding is so controversial. You know, I live feed. There's live feedings on my YouTube. And I've been kind of talking to my wife about this. Like, I kind of want to take my YouTube in a different direction. I'm not saying that I'll never do another live feeding again, but I got dreams. I actually want to make content videos. Like, I don't just, and I'm not dissing anybody that has live feedings on their YouTube. It's not a diss towards them. I'm talking about for myself. I've been kind of having that conversation, like, honey, I really want to make care videos. I really want to, rate reptile enclosures. I really want to make content and be a reptile blogger. I don't just want to do all live feeds, 1,000 billion live feeds. So, to be in that live feed community and see a teacher do a live feeding, I'm not mad at the live feeding because I do live feedings, and I get that the puppy was rejected by his mom. I think that is excellent. How do I word this? I think that science is good. I don't know if I would have did it at school, maybe like on a Zoom with my kids there, so I can say, okay, this is a science, this is nature, predators. I probably would have did like a Zoom call or something, but I don't know if I would have did it in person. I don't think anything should happen to him, but I think that
what laws are broken? What laws he broken?
Exactly. I don't think anything should happen to him. I think he should just kind of, some things you kind of gotta tiptoe on, like.
Yeah, but hey, the animal's probably in great health.
Right.
Probably had a really good enclosure. It's educated a lot of kids about reptiles.
Exactly, and it's getting kids to want snakes. So it's like the end of the story. We love going to his classroom to see the animals. So I don't think anything should happen to him. He's just got.
Okay, maybe an unpopular opinion. When you have a snake and you feed it a thawed mouse or whatever, people go, oh, "What? How do you like?" The first question you get is, "A, where does it live? Does it just roam around your house like a dog?" That's what everyone thinks your snake does. And you're like, "No, it doesn't do that." Then the next question is, "Well, how do you feed it?" And you're like, "Oh, I just go out the back and catch a rat." Just make bullshit up.
Right.
Say, no, at the pet store now you can buy a frozen rat, bring it home, thaw it out, feed it to your snake. Oh, how do they eat it thawed? I said, well, you get meat out of the freezer, put it on the counter, it thaws, and then you eat it like you cook it and eat it. We don't cook it, we just feed it off to the animal.
Right.
People think that's so fucking strange to do that when they'll go and buy a can of dog food that's processed, whatever, offal, all sorts of animals that they have never seen, and then feed it to their dog. You know what I mean? So it's because you're feeding live prey animals to an animal, people freak out.
See, I totally agree. Because they're opening up those cans, and then you don't know what's in there, but it's wrong to do.
Yeah,
a frozen thawed feeding or even alive. Like, what do you think reptiles do in the wild?
Exactly.
You think they just wait for
not
apples and bananas and lettuce, carrots, all that shit?
I don't know. Crazy story. I thought it was interesting that we could talk about because, like I said, being part of the live feeding community. Like I said, I know a lot of people that live feed, and I have live feeders on my YouTube. Don't get me wrong. Like I think they're interesting to watch sometimes, but I'm glad he did it, but I don't know if I would have did it in front of kids.
Yeah,
I think
not
in
life. Probably like on a Zoom call.
I still, in person, I think it's more educational for the kids to realize what the real life is going to happen. Right. I'm not saying that you're going to go out and get eaten by a snake. That doesn't mean you don't step in the Florida Everglades and get bitten by like a gator or something. I'm just saying, like, shit is possible. Should I be in the fucking Everglades every night?
It'll be interesting. I think I'm going to try and keep up with the story, and we maybe could talk about it and see what they do to them, see what goes on, and see what comes of it. Because, like I said, I don't know. We do live feeding, so this is a story to keep up on. I've never done one in public, but I've done them on YouTube before. So I don't know. Crazy story. Story number 4. Let's talk about it. We all know the infamous Crutchfield. We know Crutchfield. He's infamous. He smuggled tons of animals, like a lot of animals in the reptile hobby. We wouldn't even have if Crutchfield wasn't alive. He brought
conservation by commercialization.
Huh?
Conservation by commercialization. What he did for
it. True though.
So smuggling is so rampant nowadays, and I want to talk about. Let's bring up this next story, and y'all give me y'all take on it. Man faces federal charges after smuggling 3 pythons in his pants across the U.S.-Canada border. Burmese pythons are regulated by an international treaty and by federal regulations, which list the reptile as injurious to human beings. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that means, injurious. A New York man who attempted to bring 3 injurious pythons in his pants while crossing the U.S.-Canada border is now facing smuggling charges. Calvin Batista, 36, was arraigned on Tuesday for a July 2018 incident where he allegedly smuggled 3 Burmese pythons inside the legs of his pants, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of New York. He'd been making his way south into New York. The Burmese pythons, which are a species that has been banned in the U.S. from import and sale because of the threat they pose to local wildlife, were reportedly uncovered inside the man's garments when he entered through the Chaplin port of entry in upstate New York. If charged, Mr. Batista can face a maximum of 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000 and a term of supervised release for up to 3 years. The 36-year-old was released pending his trial. His case is being investigated by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Is that the last page? Now, Mr. Colin, you first. Give me your take on it. Smuggling shit from Canada to the U.S.
Is that even a real border? Like, it's still the same continent, so
there's a border.
I think like that sort of stuff there. Like, what's going to happen to that guy? He's just going to turn around and go, "Oh, I didn't know." There's no real licensing systems in America. So they always in the media, they go, that's the maximum penalty they're going to get. He'll probably get a fine. You know what I mean? And like if they're going to imprison him, they wouldn't let him out on bail. Wouldn't let him go.
True. That's true.
And you know, like, yeah, I know Burmese pythons are not from your country, but they are traded in your country. But moving it from Canada to the US, it's already not from, you know, what's the big deal? I just don't get it.
I agree. I totally agree. Because, like, in the first thing you said on I clap, it's the same fucking continent. There's no fucking, you could just drive. If you flew from LA to Sydney in Australia with that in your pants, you'd be in some serious fucking trouble. They probably wouldn't imprison you, but you wouldn't be allowed back to Australia ever. So they'd probably send you straight back, and the animals would be destroyed. So,
I think that it's a cool story because it's like some shit that I probably would never do. I hope that I hope that they don't really give him jail time because, like I said, he's a reptile keeper, and he of course he's wanting to get him back from Canada to the U.S. But it's just like, do you think he really thought that he'd get away with it though?
Oh, who knows? Like people get in their own little realm and think, oh yeah, no one's going to know, but they're going to know, man. Like, I don't know. It's just like with Tommy when he got caught, he just kept going and going and going, and then eventually, they're all watching him, and he just had to make the wrong move, and he got caught. So, there's a great documentary. Like, I've been to Tommy's house 4 times. Fucking great bloke. He's been to Australia, hung out with us. We took him to look for snakes, all that sort of shit. Great dude, wealth of knowledge. We got him onto his first wild diamond python, and he was just like an 8-year-old kid, just going, "How fucking good is this?" And he's an old man, you know. So I hold a lot of respect for what he did. And he, like, when he was in Australia, there was a couple of Australian dudes that he goes, "See that guy there? I paid for the pizza for that guy to meet up with this guy. So we have way more pythons in America."
That's awesome.
And I'm like, fuck, you know, like, yeah, it was done. Yeah, it was wrong. The way the animals are moved around is not the greatest. But now it's been sort of knocked on the head. Like, you guys have those things because of those early dudes doing all that sort of stuff. Right. Unfortunately, in your country, you can work with a lot of species. Whereas in Australia, we only have native species. That's it. So
I think that's the way the world is coming to anyway. Here, even in Kansas, native. You bring a king cobra to Kansas, you're going to the federal penitentiary. You can have something native. If it's a rattlesnake and it's native to Kansas, you can have it. But you bring a fucking Russell's viper to Kansas, you're going to jail.
But it's like Luke said in the comments. He said it can't that reticulated python will not survive in the wild in New York. It just won't. Like it's not going to happen. Or even in Canada, if it gets out, it's going to die.
Right.
First cold snap's dead. You know what I mean? So
I'll let BPO talk, but I'm gonna say one last thing. I need y'all to understand, people in the chat, how iconic this is. What Colin just said. Do you understand? He just said he kicked it with Crutchfield in Australia. That's big shit. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's top dog shit right there. And that's very impressive.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I gotta say one last thing too. Crutchfield is a legend. He smuggled shit and went to jail and took it on the chin. He said, "I'm here. Give me my time." And this was a third world country.
Yeah, fucking over in Belize, man.
There's no way I could have did it. No way. I would have been crying the first night. Please let me.
He told us about that when he was there, and he goes, "It's the fucking worst thing. Like you couldn't sleep because people would just stab you to take your blanket. You know what I mean? Like you got nothing, and you just got a bit of concrete, and you got to have your back against the wall the whole entire time." And he said it's just like he's pretty much got PTSD from that environment. You know what I mean? So, but like Tommy, he basically, mate, you want to come out, open invite whenever you want to go. Do you know what I mean? So.
Crush. I've had him on the podcast 2 to 3 times. Just iconic shit, man. Colin, Luke, Crutchfield in Australia, insane, man. But BPO, your turn. Go ahead, take it away, man.
So before I say what I want to say about the story, I want everyone in the chat right now, if you guys could please like and share the shit out, because we're about to get into story 5, and it's all about Colin. But with my perspective on this story is that it's fucking stupid. It's very fucking retarded. And I mean that literally. You're going to arrest, once again, we talked about the gopher snake. So this guy has some pythons, and what's the worst that's going to fucking happen to you? You're going to get bit?
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Or 2, you're going to hold it and love it, and it's going to be a fucking kick-ass motherfucking time. And you're going to love it. Go ahead.
Sorry, about smuggling stories. Tommy told us a story about a friend of his was a lady. She smuggled, I think it was Gila monsters, the venomous lizards.
Yeah, we got them here in Nevada.
Yeah, so she smuggled them. I can't remember where to. So anyway, she had them in her garments. One of them bit her on the way, and then she started projectile vomiting. Projectile vomiting. Anyway, it was that bad that people on the plane are going, "What's wrong with her?" And she's like, "I don't know." Like she knew exactly what had fucking happened because it bit her. But Tommy said, they landed on the tarmac, and then a person came out with a wheelchair because she's worried, like, how am I going to get through customs with all this shit on me? And a person came out in a wheelchair, put her in the wheelchair, took her straight through customs, straight out the other side, and away she went with her Gila monsters.
That's insane. Hanging with Tom Crutchfield, I bet you have so many insane stories, man. I'm jealous. Colin, I need you on my podcast, man. I'm gonna hit you up about that.
But hold on, Derek. Hold on. I wasn't done though. He wasn't done.
I interrupted him. Sorry.
Right. Go ahead.
So with the whole smuggling thing, right? I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's fucking retarded. Okay. If it's the right person and they know how to take care of that species, let them fucking have it. Who are you to say what we can and cannot have? But yet we could have a dog, we could have a cat. It's all good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the minute we own a certain species of snake or reptile, it's like, you shouldn't fucking have that. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I fucking hate it, man. Like, it's stupid. It's coming down to the point where I feel like people are just going to do it and you're never going to catch them. And then when you do find out, just saying, it'll be like the Burmese pythons in Florida. Yeah. Oh, they're invasive. They're everywhere now. That's how I feel about it. The whole fucking smuggling thing, it's fucking retarded.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Let's go ahead because I got about 15 more minutes, and gave us an amazing hour, Colin. But I want to talk about story number 5, and we don't need a fancy flyer for this because we talked about it on last week's podcast. I said I was scrolling my phone and I was telling BPL about it. I said I was trying to find stories, stuff for us to talk about, and I see Colin's face. I said, "Hey, I know this guy. Let me see what this guy he did." And I read the story that you went on the podcast and you talked about that. You went out, you caught a venomous snake, and the guy didn't want to pay, so he put it back in his house. I said, and I asked BPL. I said, BPL, do you think this story really happened, or is he capping? I said, I don't know. Let's get him on. Let's get him to talk about the story. What happened? Give us a run through, and I'll let BPL take it away. Give us a run through.
You want me to do the run through?
Go ahead.
So, first off, I could have sworn by the story it was a female that called Colin, and Colin came up to catch a snake out of the house. And then once he got this red belly, I can't remember the exact name of the venomous snake. But eventually, to the story, you walked around the yard and you threw the snake inside the window of where, because they wanted free service.
Fucking oath I didn't. What happened was so in Australia, we have snake catchers, obviously. Because we do have, in the most venomous snakes in the world, we have, I think, all of the top 10. So you do need a requirement for a snake catcher. And so in New South Wales, you have to do a course, you have to have a first aid certificate, and you have to have public liability insurance, and also a car and all that sort of stuff. So I have all that, I'm a trained snake catcher. I have my public liability. So for some reason, people think that it's free, right? Because in some states in Australia, it is free because the council does pay for it.
Oh, wow.
Because that's just the way it is. But in my state, it's not. So anyway, so I always tell the people, listen, this is what it costs. And then at that time, it was $100. It's $100. So I go into people's house, risk my life, my fingers, my senses, because you get bitten by a venomous snake, you don't just get anti-venom and you're all good. You have ongoing medical problems. Like a bite from red belly black, yeah, sure, you're not going to die from it if you get anti-venom. If you just leave it, you will die from it. But if you get anti-venom, you could lose your sense of smell for the rest of your life, or your taste. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So, or you get eye bleeds and all sorts of weird shit. Anyway, so I tell the people this is what it costs. And so a particular day, this was a really hot day. So I'm talking like 35, 39 degrees, which is that's in Celsius. So that's what, 120 degrees, 110 degrees in Fahrenheit. I'm not sure. Someone in the chat put it in there. So a guy called me. Yeah, mate. Yeah. I got the money here. Cool. No worries. Turn up to this house. It's a shit house, and go in the house and he had a kitchen. So it was like, so you walk through a door, and then the kitchen bench was dividing the kitchen off from the lounge room, and had like the hole through the wall so you could see into the kitchen. Anyway, he's up on the kitchen bench already with his feet up, and he's watching me trying to catch this red belly black. And it was a big red belly black, and red belly blacks by nature are a really good snake. They don't want anything to do with you. If they see you in the wild, they just go the other way. They're not scared of you. But when they're cornered in someone's kitchen, completely different animal. So it'll stand up. It'll try and bite you. Every bite's like a full-on bite. Like you'll get venom out of their mouth and all that sort of stuff. So this thing's trying to kill me the whole entire time. Got it out from behind the thing and fucking get it into the bag. And then this dude just started, man. He's like, and he'd had a few beers as well. So he's just like, mate, this should be fucking free. I'm not paying you. Council should pay for this. Government should pay. But all this bullshit. And I'm standing there going, fuck. Like at the time, I used to have a beard down to about here. So I'm fucking sweaty. I'm like, fuck, it's the end of the day. I said, mate, you just got to pay me. Like, I'm going to go. He goes, I'm not paying you. So I said, well, fuck you, mate. So I unclipped my bag and just held my corner of the bag up and then put the hoop on the ground, and then the snake just slithered straight out. And it pretty much got all the way out and went past my feet. And he goes, "No, I'll pay you." And he had the money, like he had it in his pocket, and he pulled it out. And I just grabbed the snake again and put it back in the bag. But that turned into this whole fucking thing where I'd thrown the snake at this dude and all this bullshit, which is what media does, you know. But it was good. And at the end of the day, like 99% of the populace go, "Oh, fuck that guy." You know, like he deserved that. You should have charged him twice because you caught it twice. But
seriously, yeah, you should have charged him double.
Yeah, I should have charged him double, but I didn't. I just on my way, you know, like and normally, most people I say I hope I never see you again, and that dude I was like I hope I never see you again, and like I said in the podcast because it was on a podcast I did with Isaac Butterfield. He's a local comedian here in Australia, and he has a podcast called Cancel Me Now. So, and he just has crazy guests on, and I was one of those. And I just said like, fancy not paying a fucking snake catcher when it's my determination where these snakes can be let go. So guess what? It's your fucking house for the rest of my life until I've had enough of you. You know what I mean? So, but I haven't. So, and yeah, I've never been back to that place again. So,
Colin, if he didn't pay me, you should have just took the TV off the wall.
Dude, if you didn't pay, I'll just leave. You know what I mean? And you deal with it. Call someone else because he goes, "I'll call the police." And I said, "Call the fucking cops, man. Like they're going to call me." And normally the cops, when they call me to a job around here, they'll call and then there'll be 2 cop cars will turn up and they'll watch me catch the snake. So I said, "Mate, you call them. They're going to call me back and they're going to watch me catch a snake in your house and then watch you pay me." What are they going to do? Say, "Oh, you're a bad boy, Colin." It's like, I didn't do any, like you weren't in any danger. There was no one. That was the other thing I get. How do you know who else is in the house? The guy was alone. There was no other doors in the house. Like everything was shut. The snake couldn't go anywhere. I made a good assessment at the time and I wasn't drinking. So bang, you know, it's a skill I have. So fuck with you wouldn't call a plumber to your house and go, "Fix my toilet," and he fixes and goes, "Oh, fuck you, I'm not paying you." What the plumber's going to do is going to take your toilet. So
yeah, I mean, you fucking A, I agree.
So
you got any questions, BPO?
Fuck, dude, I'm just shocked by the story. Like, the dude was like, "No, I'm not gonna fucking pay you," and then you let it go, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll pay you," and then you put it back.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been like, "Motherfucker, you know what? 5 times the money right fucking now."
yeah, no, I didn't. I could have done that. Like people have said that I should have done that, but I was like, whatever, just give me the money, you know. So and he did pay, and yeah, but like that was the first and last one I've had. So normally it's people that if the people don't have money, which happens a lot, I do offer like they'll send me a photo of the snake and then I can give them tips of how to get it out of their house. But there's just some instances where even they'll call the fire department and the fire department will go, and then the fire department will call me and go, "This is too big for me. Like it's a fucking massive red belly in someone's lounge or something like that." And I'll have to.
So how bad is the venom from that bite?
So I can't remember what type of toxins are in it, but like if you don't get seek medical attention, you will be very ill and you could die. So.
Man, you got big. I'm gonna be real with you. You got some big cojones, man. Because I'm not going to nobody's house trying to catch a snake that I don't know what it is and it's venomous. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, it's good fun. Like, the best thing is like I get out of it is education of people. So they go, "Why do I have a snake?" And you go, "Well, see your bird. You know, you got a bird there and a bird aviary, and it's got feed and stuff on the ground. There's probably rats in there. I can see rat holes. That's why the snake's here. You know." Or they've never seen a reptile before. Like you get a lot of like Indian people that you know, any reptile in their country is going to kill you. Not necessarily, but where you live in India, because there's no anti-venom or not a lot of research, if you get bitten by a venomous snake, you probably will die. So they treat every reptile like it's dangerous. So educating of people, I enjoy. Telling kids, like if there's kids there, who do you call if you see a snake? Don't tell dad, because dad will try and catch a snake and you'll probably get bitten. Tell mum because he'll call a snake catcher. So whereas in, you know, like it's pretty, I think the only other, like I'm friends with a South African guy, Rob McMillan. He's like from South Africa. He was a snake catcher there. They had to deal with like you know, like I deal with red belly blacks, eastern browns, and all that sort of stuff, no big deal. But he used to deal with like black mambas and shit. And like for me, like that's like fuck that. Like that in someone's house on a hot day, there's just a nightmare. So I would do it, but I'd have to watch how it happened. Like there was a point in my venomous handling career that I'd handle more cobras and stuff like that before I'd handle any Australian venomous stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'd traveled so much and dealt with cobras more. So
Look,
yeah.
Luke, you're silly, man. I seen that. He said Colin is desexed.
I am. I got a vasectomy because I got 5 kids. So.
Oh, I thought he was joking. Never mind. I'm sorry.
No, I'm fine.
Because I
don't need to. Fuck.
Anyways, man, you know what? Colin, crazy story. I'm gonna let BPO take it away, but man, just thank you for giving us an amazing hour.
Yeah, dude.
We loved having you here. You gave us your take on 5 hot topics, man. Hopefully we can get a round 2 down the road with you, man. Just an amazing guy, man. You've done so much insane stuff. There's a reason you know Barcheck. There's a reason you know Brewer. There's a reason that you hang out with Crushfield. Before I let BPO take it away, I'm telling everybody, y'all make sure y'all go check out Luke and Colin's podcast on Instagram. What's the name of it again?
I think it's just called Live Chat. What is it? Put it in the thing.
Okay, y'all go check out their live chat.
It's Luke's live chat. I just get on it as well.
Amazing show, man. Thank you so much. That's great. That's a crazy story of catching a venomous snake and putting it back and getting your money. Crazy story, man. BPO, man. You take it away, brother.
Yo, Colin, dude, you are a kick-ass motherfucker, bro. Don't let anyone take shit from you. And next time some motherfucker drops a snake, is like, I'm not paying you. Motherfucker, you owe me 5 times, 10 times the money. And I ain't catching that shit.
Cut out.
But honestly, dude, you're an amazing person, dude. You fucking kick ass. Derek, dude, as always. Colin, don't leave yet. We're gonna talk behind stage for like a couple seconds, whatever. Until next time, everybody. I'm Ball Python Love. That's Colin, my co-host, Derek's Reptiles. We're out this motherfucker. And until next time, till I find the goddamn loading screen, we're out. Peace.